This is the Woofbook Inc. News with Sam Foster.
Hey guys, are you a member with woofbook Inc. yet? And if not, now is a great time to sign up. And besides, it's free, and by becoming a member you can keep updated with all the latest dog news and tips on how to be a responsible dog owner. And consider sharing this video, because the more people that know how to be a responsible dog owner, the better our world will be. So, today, ISAF officials have confirmed that a British military dog has been captured by the Taliban. The Taliban have released footage of the dog named Colonel, as well as some stuff that they have taken off of him, like his GPS device and some assault rifles. He was captured when he wandered into their camp after it was raided by British military forces a few nights ago. After he is finished being used as a trophy, his future looks pretty grim because of the fact that the Taliban do not use dogs in their forces that much. In other news, Sochi 2014 officials have been slaughtering dogs, but due to public outrage, they have cancelled any further plans to do this. They were going to pay exterminators 1.7 million rubles, which is the equivalent to 3,304 Great British pounds, to exterminate these stray animals because of the health and safety regulations around the Olympic Park. Sadly, the killing that was made was not pain-free. The dogs and cats were either fed poisonous food, beaten or stabbed to death. But thanks to animal lovers like you in the world, this has been cancelled, and hopefully this will never happen again. So hey guys, now's the part of the show where I show you guys how to teach your dog a really cool trick. And today's trick is play dead and roll over, 2 in 1 video. So I've got my dog Charlie here, and he already knows both of these tricks. So I'm going to try and reteach them to him. But I'm not going to use any bad techniques like choke chains, prong collars, or e-collars as they're politically called, as I am a positive reinforcement dog trainer. Remember, these are tricks. And we only do tricks to build communication with our dogs, to enrich our dogs' lives, and ultimately to have fun. So, I hope you enjoy these 2 tricks, and I hope you have fun learning them with your dogs. Sit. Okay, so we're going to teach play dead first, because this is just really an advanced stay. Your dog should already know stay, because being a responsible dog owner means you have to have taught obedience first, because obedience is safety, and you want your dog to be safe. Okay, so notice here, I have what's called a training bubble with my dog. Now here, it means I can communicate a lot better with my dog than if I was standing over here and I have my back turned and I'm standing up. I can communicate a lot better when I'm down at his level, I'm eye to eye, I can be there, I can fix any mistakes really quickly. Okay, so because this is just an advanced day and your dog should already know it, it's just in a different position really. So first get them into a lie down, which again is obedience, and they should know this. And notice that I'm using real meat. Now this is because, picture it like this. Your teacher, for getting a question right on a maths test, they will give you a huge bag of sweets. You're going to work a lot harder for the huge bag of sweets than if it was a Brussels sprout maybe. You'd still work hard for the Brussels sprout, unless you really hate them. But you'd still work hard for the Brussels sprout, but you work so much harder for the bag of sweets. So to dogs, real meat and real human food is the big bag of sweets, and then a dog treat is still nice, but you know, could be better. Okay? Which is why they're gonna be so much more enthusiastic, and they're likely to pick things up a lot better. Okay, so Charlie, as I said, he knows both of these tricks, so I'm gonna try and reteach them to him. Okay, so lie down, as I said, and then go around onto their side. And look, I'm keeping my treat to the floor because this is lure training, so they'll follow their nose. And as soon as they go into the position, get them up and treat. Good boy, yes! And give them lots of praise, especially if it's the first time they've done it perfect. Because remember, the first time, when you're luring them around, they might not know what they need to do. So they could go into a rollover, they might not stay there, you don't know. So what you've got to do, give them what's called a jackpot reward, which means give them loads. If they're a play-orientated dog, then throw the ball loads of times for them, play tug-of-war with them for ages. Whatever it is that your dog likes, do it so much more than you usually would. Be enthusiastic, praise, everything, because you want them to know that they've done it perfect, especially if it's the first time. Okay, so we're going to go back into that position, and as your dog should already know, stay. Go on, back up, back up, back up. Good. He knows back up. And basically, your dog should already know the stay, like I said, and when they go into the stay, when they go into the position you want, just tell them to stay. And you've got to build up the time slowly. Start with 1 second, then 2, and remember, it's building up very quickly. So sit, lie down, onto the side, right, sit, lie down, and then just come onto the side, and treat. Good boy. Play dead. Okay? And then you can start introducing the command, can't you? Right, sit. Lie down. Roll over. Play dead. Good boy. Good. Now I can do that without treats for him, but for your sake, I'm gonna, and for the purposes of you guys at home, I'm gonna show you how to do it like that. Okay? It's a good boy. Okay, right. So back up. Good. Right. So now we're gonna teach rollover. Now this is just an extended stay. Well, not an extended stay, an extended play dead. Sorry. So you want to go all the way instead of stopping there. Okay. So lie down. And then you want to push him all the way. See, look, his paw is touching my hand. He's trying to get the treat out of my hand. So just kind of push it all the way until he rolls over. And then that's great. And then treat. Remember, again, it's the first time they've done rollover. That's different to play dead. So give them another jackpot reward. Don't teach them for the first time in the same training session. Try and do a training session every day. That's what I do. But if you can't, don't worry. But as long as they're often, they're going to, if you do, the more often you do training sessions, the quicker they're going to pick up a concept. I do training sessions 10 minutes every day with Charlie, real meat, and if I can't get real meat, I use cheese, because cheese is great. But before you use cheese, check your dog isn't lactose intolerant, because it can really be as bad to dogs as it can be to people. So, you just build up on that. So if you just taught play dead for the first time, you don't then want to teach roll over for the first time. Okay? So, don't speak. I said you couldn't speak. I was doing the hand signal for speak, which is that. Okay, so you just want to expand that and then start to put in the commands, but don't teach 2 tricks for the first time in one training session. If it's a new trick, spend the whole training session on it. Maybe you can throw in a couple other things, but make sure that that is the primary concept of that training session, just because then it will be more stone built into their head, if you know what I mean. Right, so Charlie, roll over. Good boy. So that's just like start to put in the command, and that's how you teach play dead and roll over. So have fun teaching this trick, guys, and we'll have another new trick, maybe even 2, depending if they're linked like these 2 were. But yeah, we'll have new tricks next time for you. So that was play dead and roll over. Have fun teaching your dogs this, and well done, Charlie. I'm going to give you the rest of the hand now. Oh, you did amazing. It's now time for this week's Spotlight Dog, and this week is the Bloodhound.
The Bloodhound was the first dog whose sniffing evidence was admissible in court. In fact, this nose is so powerful, it dragged a Bloodhound 135 miles across the state of Kansas, successfully tracking a scent.
Anybody that's ever kissed a Bloodhound on the nose knows what a beautiful nose is all about.
As one of the most famous Bloodhounds, McGruff the crime dog can tell you there is no breed of dog that can compete with the Bloodhound's sense of smell.
The Bloodhounds are unrivaled in their sense of smell.
They can smell a trail over 300 hours old. That's 12 days.
You better keep a leash on them at all times, because if they catch a scent, they're done. You can't stop them.
Their distinct look and sound is easily identifiable, with a unique howl that can be heard for miles. And those long ears and droopy jowls, you'll never mistake this dog for any other. In fact, droopy pretty much sums it up, from their saggy skin, to their hanging eyes, to their long swinging slobber.
They drool, and they'll shake their head, and you have a big blab of spit going across the room.
They were originally the dogs of monasteries in Belgium, and were famed for their pure blood. In fact, that's where their name comes from, bloodhound, meaning hound of true blood. Not because they can sniff a trail of blood, but they can do that too.
We did such a good job of breeding bloodhounds to have such a strong ability to scent that it's no surprise that when the dog does pick up a scent, they have a harder time listening or hearing you calling to them.
Tommy. Most dogs are led by humans. Bloodhounds tell humans where to go. Their basic anatomy is made for scenting. As air rushes through the nasal cavity, tiny scent particles are lodged in the nose mucus. From here, the scent receptors go to work and send the info to the olfactory bulb in the brain. It is said that while the human's olfactory sensor is about the size of a postage stamp, the bloodhound's is the size of a handkerchief. But the nose does not do it alone. Their pendulum-like ears act like sweepers, carrying up scents from the ground into the nose. And to assist even further, the various wrinkles on a bloodhound are so important to its design that they have their own names, from the generous lips that hang below each nostril to the flews, which are a continuation of the lips closer to the ear, all the way down to the dewlap, those funny folds around the neck. Lastly, you cannot ignore those bloodhound eyes. Incredibly, when the bloodhound's nose is to the ground, the skin around the eyes falls forward, creating blinders. This keeps the dog more focused on the ground in front of him. Bloodhounds are just plain cool dogs, there's no doubt about it, but not exactly the perfect apartment dogs.
This is a dog that loves to use its nose and loves to get out into those wide open spaces.
Because they're so active and will go anywhere, they need to be bathed regularly, and their ears are an issue.
Their ears are so long that they'll get in their food and they get really, really dirty. So you probably have to clean their ears every day.
Like most big dogs, they have a propensity to bloat, which may be avoided by using an elevated feeding bowl.
To minimize bloat, you want to feed your dog in 2 separate meals.
Training with these pups can be a big deal if you want them to be Sherlock Holmes. If you're just looking for a slobbery, happy pet, they're a lovable, snuggly family dog. Just don't leave smaller kids in charge, because the bloodhound will overpower them without knowing it.
Hurry up! I can't hold him for long.
So, the bloodhound. Always keep penned in or on a leash, and be sure not to overfeed them. While they need their ears cleaned every day, they make good, slobbery, cuddly pets. Just be sure to put in the training time, or that family dog will turn into stubborn dog. Bloodhounds obviously know how to work, but they also know how to play. And as long as you give them a mission with their nose, they're happy pets.
Where's it at? Where's it at?
Love you.
So, is the bloodhound for you if you're thinking of getting a puppy? If not, don't worry, I'll have a new great dog breed for you next week. But sadly, that's all we've got time for today. But next time, I'll be on location in some great places. I'll be giving you tips on how to be a responsible dog owner, and I'll be teaching you guys how to teach your dog some great new tricks, as well as much, much more. But for this week, keep training those 2 tricks, play dead and roll over, and tell me in the comment section below how those tricks go for you. So that's all for this week. Keep being responsible with your training, guys, and keep training.